of the things that's unique about this car over other cars I've worked on, other hot rods, is that this car is so much a brainchild of mine, something that it didn't, I took parts from so many other vehicles and just created what looked good to me. So where typically I would I'd sit probably in a chair and stare at something like my 33 Dodge. Anytime I do anything with that, I sit and stare at it and stare at it and stare at it because I don't want to screw up something. I don't want to do something that I have to try to undo or fix later. And with this car, it's different. So with this car, the way I tend to work through things like this rear pan is I tend to have a rough idea of what I'm gonna do. Like I had the 3 taillights for each side, but I don't know exactly how it's gonna end up. So what I do is I kind of start working my way through it. I take a panel, I cut that panel to size, I bend the flanges as you see, and I just work my way through it, and I'll hold it up there and look at it. I'll tape up lenses and look at it, and maybe I'll roll a bead, maybe I'll French something in, cut it and set it back in further. I keep playing with it till it works, and sometimes I just have to throw something away. I've had to throw a few things away on this car that I started down a path and it just wasn't working, and I just had to scrap it, cut it off, and throw it in the pile and keep after it. So as you see me working on this, I'm definitely not doing what I would typically do, where I would typically have a little more of a plan. I'm kind of feeling my way through everything, because it really is. I know it when I see it, and it's just in my head. So I'm after making a Roadster that looks right to me. I'm after making a car that is a period early 50s show car. That's what this is headed towards. Is I'm chroming the windshield. I might chrome the radiator shell. It's going to be a period early to mid 50s show car, and it's just got to look right to me. Just like those guys of yesteryear, they would make it look cool to them. They'd take ideas out of the little books and they'd make their own creations. And this is a big creation. And fortunately for me, I don't have 1 or 2 years of looking at little books to come up with ideas. I've got 60 years of hot rodding to pull from. So I'm really blessed. 70 years of hot rodding to pull from. I'm really blessed. I have a lot of internet options for looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of old show cars, and it's really neat. There's a lot of information at my fingertips that allows me to see things and see what they look like before I ever have to try them on my car and see if I like it or not. So it's a process. It's a little different process with this one than is typical. telling me that this line was running downhill a little bit. I started looking at it and it doesn't look quite correct. So I'm going to have to rotate this slightly. And it should not be the tail light markings, because I measured all those pretty well. 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and 4 1/4. So it should just be this. This line just needs a little tweaking, and I can see it. It's not much. You're talking 32nd of an inch maybe, but my eye picked it up, and if my eye picked it up, somebody else's eye can pick it up. Not entirely sure about this next part. I was thinking about stepping this down and seeing if that's enough, and if it's not, then continuing and cutting it and Frenching it. I think I can step it deep enough that it'll be okay. I'm gonna go with my deepest step. I think my deepest step is probably going to be enough. So you know what to step in. It's starting to oil can a little on me, but I'm starting to get that inset that I'm after. Not sure exactly how I'm going to get this end because it doesn't really want to let me, but I'm going to probably have to flip it around. can see, I got it all pretty well lined up. It's still going to need some work. The ridge line, it matches, and the whole thing's starting to come together a little bit. I really can kind of see that I'm on the right track here for the look I'm after. I'm obviously gonna have to use my shrinker and put more contour in this so it'll wrap around, match the body, and then I'll have to break the bottom there to make it fold under and look right. But we're on the right track. I think we're doing the right thing. That's gonna do it for this video. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Next video, what we'll do is I'll between videos, I'll get the other side of the tail light bead rolled in, stepped. And then in the next video, what we'll do is we'll break the back, bring it down, and we'll shrink the sides so that it gets that contour to match the body. Then we'll address the license plate. I have an idea about the license plate, but I don't know if it's going to work yet. I'm still thinking about it. But thanks for following along.